Vision. I'm Melanie. Thanks so much for clicking. To my returning family, the Visionaries, thank you for your continuous love and support. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please feel at home. Have you had an opportunity to subscribe to the channel yet? If not, do me a favor, take a second, hit subscribe, and please don't forget to like and share. I absolutely adore YouTube because I'm able to find so many people's different lived experiences, stories telling me about their lived experiences. As I scroll through YouTube, I'm always engaged to learn something new. Recently, I came across a video by Wadamaya. Now, we all know that Wadamaya is an African content creator, and he is usually sharing African content in Africa. However, recently he's traveled to Brazil, and what he shared was gorgeous. It was beautiful, and he shared all the highlights of Brazil, of course. But then he also exposed Brazil for something that I was not aware of. So I was educated. Did you know that Brazil has 80% of the people living in Brazil are black and 20% are white? I did not know that. And also he was telling us how racism is alive and well in Brazil. Now, we all know that racism lives everywhere across the globe and is part of everyday makeup, unfortunately. But what he shared in this video really made me sit forward, listen, and understand that we need to have this conversation. Now, I know you may say, Melanie, you're a white woman. What are you talking about racism for? But it's important for us to have this conversation no matter what color we are, because it has to stop. What's happening across the globe for so many black people is disheartening. So I'm going to share with you what I learned from Wadamaya's video and how it compares to other situations across the globe. In this video, he's talking with different people that live in Brazil, Afro-Brazilian, as he refers to them as, and many of them are young people. He first spoke with a young man asking about what it's like to be a black man living in Brazil, and he shared the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's take a listen.
It should be wonderful. It's the most African city outside the African continent. Yep. At least between the capitals of Brazil and all America. Yeah. But it's on the other side, it's very difficult because it's one of the most racist city in Brazil. Wow. Not by cultural elements, because our culture is all inspired by African culture. Not just the religion, but as well the music and the dancing and the food. But in spite of all this, it's a lot of prejudice here in Salvador. We don't have mayors, black mayors, and we don't have a black elite, a middle class. Most of it is white people that compose this middle class. So it's a very large struggle to make justice and equalizing the opportunity for the whole society.
All the society.
Yeah.
I was surprised by this analysis, I'll be honest, because I look at Brazil as this place. I guess, like many people, when I think about Brazil, I think about the rainforest, the beautiful beaches, and about football, of course, soccer. But as we go deeper into this interview, Wadamaya will expose the racism that actually lives there and how it's impacting black Brazilians. As he spoke to a young girl, this one really tugged at my heartstrings. He asked her what it was like being a black woman living in Brazil. She shared her thoughts about how she feels lost and as if she doesn't belong. That's heartbreaking. Can you imagine the tragedy that is, the trauma this woman is facing? Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
Então, no Brasil, a gente aprende desde cedo que a gente não tem racismo, que aqui a gente vive uma democracia racial em que o branco, o preto e o indígena vivem em paz, sabe? Só que não é verdade, porque o branco, quando ele tem dinheiro, ele vive nos melhores apartamentos de um bairro. O preto e o indígena e outras pessoas oxigenadas, as pessoas pardas, vivem nas periferias, levando tiro de polícia. E as pessoas indígenas que ainda têm a sua cultura, que preservam sua cultura, são violentadas muito pelo governo, como no último governo que a gente teve, que teve uma violência indígena muito grande, um genocídio, principalmente com povos, como o povo Yanomami, que teve pessoas que passaram fome, pessoas desnutridas, crianças morrendo de desnutrição por conta da exploração de ouro, sabe? Então, falar que no Brasil não tem racismo, que a gente não vê cor, é uma tática, inclusive, para silenciar essas pessoas de minorias, para silenciar pessoas negras, pessoas indígenas, sabe? Para a gente se alienar e pensar, ah, não, essa pessoa tá falando de uma característica minha, sabe? E aí acaba que nos cega dessa realidade, que o racismo no Brasil existe, ele é muito violento, ele mata, e mata muito, mata muito.
Trauma doesn't even begin to actually hit on the head here. But it's not just about this young woman and the trauma she's experienced. It's about all Black people across the world that have experienced trauma when there is racism. I'm reminded of Julius Malema and how he continuously speaks about racism and how people say that he's crazy to be talking about racism over and over again. But whenever Malema talks about Uneducated, he shared a story of remembering as a child when white police officers came to take his mother away naked. Talk about trauma. Oh my gosh. It's something that will stick with these people for the rest of their lives. It'll impact the way that they live every day. As Guatemala continues to share other people's stories, including a young woman who's afraid for the safety of her family and friends, because of course, similar to the United States,
a opressão das pessoas, o racismo e a diferença de tratamento de lugar para lugar também. Oportunidades que são diferentes, menores oportunidades para pessoas pretas, mulheres e homens, né?
Has she ever had a racism encounter at first hand?
Ah, várias vezes. Várias vezes. Já cheguei em um restaurante que era, né, muitas pessoas brancas e o garçom falou que não tinha mesa disponível para mim e que não tinha lugar para pessoas como eu ali.
Racism where police kill Black people and all of that. Does that happen here too?
Muito. O número de mortes de pessoas pretas equivalente a pessoas brancas é gritante, é muito grande.
Does she ever fear for her life?
Todos os dias, minha mãe, eu temo pela minha vida, pela vida da minha família e de todas as pessoas que estão próximas a mim, porque eu sei que estão à mercê de possíveis violências policiais.
So she said she fears for the people around her. She fears for her life, also she fears for the people around her, the family, and all that.
there's violence. The police are killing Black people as well. He also spoke with a woman who was older and asked her perspective, as obviously the young people in Brazil are a little bit more impacted.
Mãe dele, lá no Ghana. Não tem diferença.
2025 vou.
Yeah.
Tem um amigo africano, o Nelson, que faleceu. Ele era africano e isto trouxe de lá.
When she comes to Ghana, please, she should reach out to me and I'm going to make sure she lives her best life. Does it feel being an Afro-Brazilian in Brazil?
Ser descendente africano, ter todas as nossas características maravilhosas, não é só São Paulo. Não é só na Bahia, não é só no Rio.
Mas como você se sente? Você sente alegria? Você
Me
se sente
sinto
tristeza?
livre, me sinto profissional, me sinto família, me sinto poderosa. Eu sou paisagista. Tenho 69 anos, fala pra ele. E a felicidade do mundo se resume em ter um pai e uma mãe chamada Guilhermina. Meu pai se foi com quase 61, minha mãe com 92 e estou aqui. Eu sou isso.
I've spoken to a lot of young Afro-Brazilians and some of them are saying they feel so lost because the country is so racist to them.
Okay.
As a 69-year-old, we should say the same thing.
Eu me sinto assim. Só aconteceu 2 vezes comigo. Nesses longos 69 anos.
Sim.
Primeira vez foi na devolução dos documentos. A pessoa estranhou, né? Não, você, uma pessoa negra. Esperei a pessoa falar, falou. Por que você acha que uma pessoa negra não faz isso?
Me fala de novo sobre essa a segunda vez.
Segunda, um vizinho branco, comentou com um amigo que estava visitando ele. Eu parei para cumprimentá-lo. Ele falou isso. O que você falou? Você tá louco? Quem que arrumou aquela sua calçada ali? Eu. Então aquilo é serviço de porco e não de preto.
Ok, vamos...
Resposta. É a resposta que eu dei. Então, como que eu me sinto? Eu me sinto respondendo na hora. Não adianta argumentar, não adianta reclamar, não adianta fazer mimimi. Responde à altura na hora.
History is bitter in so many ways when it comes to racism. And I'm glad that Wadamai has exposed racism in Brazil, because I myself, somebody from Canada, may not have known about this, because we always think about places as destinations, tourist attractions, things like that. And as myself not having hands-on first experience with racism, I really wouldn't have known. But after watching this video and seeing how it's so important for us to have this conversation about racism, no matter where you're living across the globe, we know that it exists on a daily basis. And I think it's time that we all got together, sat down, all from different backgrounds, genders, and ages, have a conversation about the impact of racism, how it causes trauma, how it causes poverty, how it covers inequality across the globe. But most importantly, how it needs to stop. Wadamai said something that really pulled at my heartstrings. He said that he felt that it was up to African people from Africa, the continent, to ensure the diasporas felt that they had a place, that they belonged in Africa. And I thought that was really nice and really kind for him to say. But the reality is, the responsibility is on people who are white, like myself. We need to stop what we're doing. If we have racist tendencies, we need to educate ourselves. We need to destroy any belief systems that we may have. Anything that needs to be adjusted, we need to hear about other people's lived experiences and understand the impact our behavior has on others. Not all white people are racist, I will say that, and I understand this. But unfortunately, as watching this video and so many of the other ones I've watched about what's happening in South Africa, racism and the United States, racism does rear its ugly head on a regular basis in the world of work, in the world of finances, and definitely in the society. Leadership, again, is a huge one. So whenever we hear Julius Malema or other leaders speaking about racism, we need to take time, pause, listen to what they have to say, and be educated.
With you. But the treatment of black people with dignity must start here in Africa, by us Africans treating each other with respect. We have a responsibility to teach the whole world that Africans and blacks in general are not subhuman. They are full human beings. And therefore, you cannot be behind Black Lives Matter and still see an opportunity to destroy another black person. When you support the killing of your own fellow black brothers and sisters here in South Africa, and have some useless hashtag on social media, put South Africa first, that is a narrow nationalism, because the problem of black people is not a problem of South Africa. A black man is hated everywhere, be it in China, be it in France, be it everywhere. You cannot say South Africa first. We must say black first and defend the black lives everywhere, including here in South Africa.
I'd love to hear your thoughts and idea on Wadamai's video. Did you know that Brazil was 80% of the population was people who are black? Did you understand that racism still lives and exists very widely in Brazil? I was educated by this video, and I thank Wadamai for exposing this and educating me. And this is why it's so important for us all to share our lived experiences, because we will be educating and informing people across the globe about what's really happening in the world. We don't have to depend on the media all the time. We just need to listen to one another's stories, because this is how perhaps we can come together and change the narrative. I'd love to hear your thoughts and ideas. Please drop them in the comments on the video about Brazil, about racism in general, and let's have a conversation. And until next time, please don't forget to hit that notification button, like and share, and we'll see you later. Bye.